Sorry. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first book study on Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins. I'm Michelle Stuchel, and I am so privileged to be able to lead this with all of you. I really, really feel very honored to be doing this. And let me just say this, this is not Michelle who knows everything leading this. This is, we are all learning and growing together, okay? I may be a couple steps ahead of you, but isn't that what we're all learning? We're all learning from people a couple steps ahead of us. I'm learning from people a couple steps ahead of us, and that's what we want. We want to be able to learn from people that are fruitful and successful and have what we want. And that's exactly what we're doing in this book, because Sarah Robbins, we could not be picking a better role model in terms of success, character, vision, everything. So let me just give a couple ground rules for our study, okay? And I think I alluded to this in our chat. This is our study, okay? This is not Christina's study or Brittany's study or my study. This is your study, okay? Now, if I just named a couple leaders, think about 3 leaders from Freedom Team. Don't say them now, but just have them come to your mind, right? And I'm sure you all would think of the same 3, 4, 5 people. And you know why? Because they always have their cameras on and they always speak up. So you have invested in a book and committed to Thursday nights. And whether or not you have a ton of people on your team or one person on your team, you are a leader and you're going to start thinking like a leader. And so I want to encourage you to have your cameras on and to speak up. We want to hear from you, and nothing, if you're thinking it, somebody else needs to hear it, okay? Somebody else needs what you have to say, whether it's a question or a comment, because you have value to add, not only to the group, but to so many other people. So this is not the time to be shy. This is not the time, oh, they don't need to hear what I have to say, because you're going to grow by stepping out of your comfort zone and sharing what you are learning and asking questions and making this your own, okay? Making this your own. And isn't that what network marketing is anyway? It's getting out of your comfort zone and doing what you need to do to talk to people. So let's dig in. I have 4 pages of notes, and who knows if we'll get through it all, but I'm going to do a little bit of summarizing and bringing out some points, and then we'll open it up for discussion. Okay, chapter 1, demystifying the big build. Okay, and I'm curious, did any of you guys listen, like raise your hand, did anybody listen to the video that she put at the end of that first chapter? There's a video, a free video that you can listen to. I highly recommend you doing that, because for this sole reason, a lot of times we need to hear things again and again and again for them to sink in. And it's one thing to read it, but maybe some of you are more auditory learners. So as you hear her even talking about these things, you're going to pick up different nuggets than just when you read it. So I highly encourage you in the next couple days to listen to that free video. And I'll put it in the chat later tonight. Okay. So she starts out by talking. Sarah Robbins, if you don't know her, she was with Roden and Fields, and she gives you her story. And I find it really interesting that this 7-figure earner, this industry leader who makes 6 figures a month, was a shy, introverted, nearly broke kindergarten teacher that started during a recession when she was afraid they were going to lose their house. Anybody? Any parallels? What we're doing right now, right? The time that we're looking at. And she said, did you pick this up over and over again in this chapter? She said, success was not easy for me. Because a lot of times people can say, oh, she just got in at the right time. No, she had to daggum build and do things and get out of her comfort zone and do hard things, right? And it wasn't easy. She wasn't this gregarious, outgoing person. You're exactly right. She said she almost vomited and cried. She said it wasn't easy, but it was worth it, right? And she said when she started, there was no training, no systems. All she had was belief. And I wrote that in capital letters in my notes. She had belief. And you've heard us say this over and over again, if you've been in Freedom Team any length of times, is belief is the number one thing you need to have. Belief in the products, belief in our industry, and this book will fuel your belief in the industry, and belief in yourself that you can do this. And even hearing her story, I hope that it propels you and fuels you that if Sarah Robbins can do this, you can do this too. She had belief. And what took her through? She said, what made me successful, even though I had nothing, she said, I was persistent, right? And she was committed to 3 things. She was committed to personal growth, committed to professional growth, which is what all of you are doing right now, right? Hats off to you, professional growth. And then she was able to establish systems to help others get to a strong start. So here's the deal. You are already a leg up on Sarah Robbins when she started, because we have fabulous systems and training in place to help you, not only you get off to a strong start, but other people get off to a strong start too, right? And then she says she loves the industry because it offers hope and it offers freedom, both time and finances, and she's able to pursue her dream. And her dream was to open a foundation to help children, orphanages around the world, and she's living her dream and empowering others to do the same, okay? I don't know, I should have counted this, but so many times she said success didn't come easy. Lots of failing forward. And did you notice that one of the like the headings to one of the parts in the book was failing forward, falling forward? And she said the most important thing was that I didn't quit. She said that so many times, persistence. She said, I just wasn't going to stop until I matched my teaching income. She made a decision. She said she drew her line in the sand. She made a decision and she kept going. She wasn't going to let her fear, a failure, a blunder, or a lack of knowledge stop her. She wasn't going to let a no stop her. She was going to keep going until she met her goal. And so then she goes, she met with one of her girlfriends, and the girlfriend said, do you remember you were crying over whether or not you were going to be able to make $3,000 a month, and now you're making 6 figures a month? 6 figures a month, people, okay? And what was her answer? Do you remember what her answer was? Type it in the chat box if you remember what her answer was. Yes, Cindy, coachable. Cindy gets a gold star. She was coachable. She was coachable. She was introverted, shy, broke. All her friends were broke. Nobody had money. What does that sound like? A bunch of excuses. And look, we all have excuses, right? We all can have excuses. Look, the past couple weeks, I had the flu. I was sick. My husband and I went to marriage counseling for the first time this week. Okay, life has not been a bed of roses over here, but we still show up. Do you know the month that I ranked up to Senior Ruby was the hardest time? My husband was under such stress. We were like, he was afraid he was going to have a heart attack. Literally, he said, if I have to keep doing this, I'm going to have a heart attack and die. My mother was in the hospital on a ventilator. We thought she was going to die. No joke. At one point, we thought she was brain dead, and we thought we were moving to Miami. It was a pretty crazy time. If I had an excuse to stop, it would have been last April. And guess what? That was the month that I ranked to Senior Ruby. If you make a decision, you find a way. It doesn't mean you have to spend 80 hours a day, every day. You've just made a decision. And that's what Sarah did. You make a decision. She just didn't quit, and she didn't make excuses. She was coachable, willing to learn and grow and do whatever it took. Was it uncomfortable? Of course it was. Is it easy? No, it's work. If it was easy, it would be sleazy. This is simple. We make it much more complicated than it is. This is a very simple business, but it takes grit. It takes discipline. It takes a decision. It takes being willing to face your fears. It takes all of this stuff. But if you kept going, if you keep going, you will get there. Do you remember she made the point that out of industry leaders across network marketing, they assembled several times this has happened, the top leaders in the industry, and they had pretty much all recruited between 50 and 150 basically level ones, and out of that, their primary sources of income came from 1 to 3 legs. 1 to 3 people. For those of you that were at Leaders Retreat, Tracy was there, Pam was there, and we sat in the room with Genevieve, and she said, you know what you're looking for? Who else was there? I'm sorry. Yes, Laurel, you were there. Forgive me if I'm missing anybody else. But Genevieve says, you were looking for 4 to 6 people. 4 to 6 people. And this is when Sarah Robbins makes the shift. You remember what the shift was in her business? She was making a few $100s to all of a sudden a few $1,000s a month. What was that shift? That shift was power prospecting. That's right. Prospecting for runners, people that want the business. If you lead with products all the time, you will get a bunch of happy product users. If you're talking about the business and you're looking for people that you can link arms with and run, that's what you're looking for. And Sarah just says, you just have to be willing to talk to a lot of people, because what you're doing is looking for gold. Really, everybody needs the products, but guess what? Not everybody's going to run with you. And let's face it, we don't want everybody to run with us. You know what I mean? Like, I can't run with everybody. I can't give all my time to everybody. I need 2 to 4, 3 to 5 runners, people that I want to link arms with and run, because I'm going to pour into them, spend a great deal of time with them, and do this thing together. 80% of Sarah's income come from 3 people. Think about Brittany. She's got a few runners, right? She's got a lot, she's wide, but there's a couple people where most of her points come from. You don't need a ton. 2 to 4, 3 to 5, 4 to 6 runners, right? And so you just have to be willing to talk to a lot of people to find those runners. And then she talks about how willing are you to hear no to get to the yes? Is it worth it to be told no to get to the yes? If you knew that you had to go through 20 no's to get to 1 yes, will you keep going, right? But that's where the decision comes in. Have you made the decision to, whatever it takes, go through it? And then she says this, you know, what's the cure? How do we make this shift? You know what it is? Buckle your seatbelt, people. Just do it. Action. Action. You are the only one responsible for your business. Not your sideline, not your downline. It's not the people that aren't ordering. It's not your upline. It's not corporate. It's me. I am responsible for my business, right? And my efforts will show up in my paycheck. Yes, there are skills that we can learn, right? But it's up to me to keep talking to people. And let me promise, I promise you this. If you are faithful to A1, be coachable. Well, I guess first make the decision to do whatever it takes to be coachable, and listen to your upline because they've been there and they've done it with you, and listen to people like Sarah Robbins and such. If you do the activity, God will bring the increase. You may be talking to A, B, and C, and then guess what? God will bring X to you. You weren't even talking to X, but God is faithful. He is, that if you do the things that you know to be doing, God will bring the increase. Maybe not on your timetable, but I promise you he'll bring the increase, okay? And she says this, you never stop recruiting. You never stop talking to people. And this is what I love, consistent activity. She doesn't go to sleep until her threshold is 5 people a day, 5 new contacts a day. And the more you talk with, the more you're going to increase your odds of success, right? So here's the kicker. You know, she says your success is directly related to the degree to which you're willing to work to find others like yourself who are committed to succeeding. Let me say that again. Your success is directly related to the degree to which you are willing to work to find others like yourself who are committed to succeeding. You know, are you willing to hear the no's to sign up? You know, are you willing to hear the no's to sign up 100 people and strike gold with 3 to 5 people? And then I want you to think about this. Where are you on the commitment scale? Whatever your goal is, this is not about my goal for you. Like, you know, one of the things she says is you will have people on your team that want to go at varying speeds, right? Some people just want their products paid for. Some people want $500 a month. Some people want $5,000 a month. Some people are, dadgummit, I'm going for financial freedom, right? But regardless of what your goal is, you have to have that commitment, you know? Pardon my French, but come hell or high water, I'm going to do this. And that's what made Sarah successful, right? And everybody has issues. I just told you I have issues. Praise the Lord, we have another marriage counseling on Monday morning. Everybody's got issues. There's no pie in the sky, easy life, right? Everybody's quarantined. But the people that succeed just don't quit. They don't have the attitude of, I'm going to try this and see how it works out. Because if you have that mindset, guess what? It won't. Because someone will say no to you. You'll talk to 2 or 3 people. They won't get back to you. They'll ghost you. And you think, it didn't work. Well, no, you weren't coachable. You didn't commit to whatever your goal was. So in this chapter, what I took away, lots, her 3 keys: be coachable, make a decision and keep going, consistency and perseverance, and you got to talk to a lot of people about the opportunity. Talk to a lot of people. And those were my 3 takeaways. So that, I am so excited. You can unmute yourself. This is the highlight for me. I want to know what hit you all and what your big takeaways were and what really spoke to you. Like, what are your action items that you're going to put in practice this week?
Okay, I'm gonna go first. I loved this. And the thing that stuck out to me the most was what we all said over and over, that this did not come easy to her. And I guess basically because, you know, when I first started, it did kind of come easy for me. Like, I was getting the joins and I was like, oh, leaders retreat, like, this is awesome. And then it slowed down because I didn't know how to do retention. And so then I started going backwards, and so now I'm having to go forwards again. And it is hard. Like, it's a constant, you know, between this and listening to John Maxwell, that uphill climb has been really uphill for me lately. Like, not so much slanted, but like this way. So when she said that, I was like, okay, all right. And then I went back to that statistic. If I just keep going and I keep doing the things, then this will happen. And like you said, maybe not in my time, but it will happen. So, I mean, that's statistics right there. I mean, I just got to keep going. So, something I've done this week was double my IPA. So I was like, well, if I'm not getting the results I want in the time I want, then I need to do more. So that was kind of my action step this week.
I love that, Rachel. I was the same way. I basically got to gold by myself within 3 months. And guess what? Took me a while to get to senior gold. I had a lot, but again, being coachable, okay, I have to learn the skill of retention, right? And what is it? There's a statistic that say if people stay, 95% of people that are in network marketing for at least 10 years, 95% of people are top earners. You will get there if you just don't quit.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Absolutely.
And I'm right where Rachel is. I'm at that brick wall right now because it was a little easy, and I'm like, "Ooh, this is I'm doing so good." Kind of, not pat myself on the back, but just going, "Okay, this is, this isn't that hard." And then all of a sudden, I'm getting people who are, "Well, let me think about it," and I'm going, "What do you mean? What is there to think about?" So I'm having to rethink what I've learned so far, and I'm excited. I do have beliefs, so I know I've got that on my side. So I'm willing to take the steps and and do the IPA, because truthfully, if I'm truthful, I haven't done 5 new contacts a day. So not consistently. And so what she said, one of the things was persistence and commitment. So, in order to be successful, you can't just have one of those. You've got to have both of those, and you've got to, you've got to put in the growth. And Brittany said last week, it's great doing all the, if you hear my dog, there's a mosquito in here somewhere. A bug got in and he's going over. But, you're not going to grow just training. So it's like I find myself getting caught in diamond documentaries, and they're great, but unless I'm doing that IPA, nothing's happening.
That's right.
So you've got to do all those contacts before, you get the yeses before you find the gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The boat don't roll if you don't have a paddle, right? So
true. So true.
I kind of got the same thing too, focusing on my daily, which I do reach out to new people every day. Just, hey, how's it going? Especially with everything that's been going on, kind of not, just trying to jump on them with Plexus, you know what I mean, kind of thing. But because most people know when they look at if they're creeping on my page or check me out, or if they're friends of mine already, they already know, and I probably have already talked to them. But anyway, so I mean that was my biggest thing was, I feel like I'm being consistent with that, but I also feel like I need to up my game, raise the bar a little bit more, because I'm kind of the same way. Like when I first came into it, I definitely was not all about, I didn't want to, I was like, I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to do this. I'm a behind the scenes kind of girl, not an out front kind of girl, even though I like to be loud and have fun and very social or whatever, but I'm also kind of, not want to be in people's face either, if that makes any sense. So definitely a lot of growing. Got the same thing about being coachable, refocusing my goals. It's not that I don't have goals set. I think I just kind of need to tweak them a little bit, maybe kind of reshape them a little bit, and then still being consistent, but going that extra little step. Yeah. Because and I've used this analogy before, riding on the mountaintop feels great, but eventually you're down in the valley, and that's where we grow and stretch ourselves the most, so that we can climb back up to the mountain and get that fresh air. So can't stay on the mountain all the time. We got to go down to the valley, do our hard work, do the hard things to get back to the top, constantly up and down, building ourselves up. So definitely falling forward for sure.
Well,
You can go ahead.
I'm sorry. First off, this is Linda Graham. I'm sorry my picture's not up because I am kind of technically challenged and I don't know how to get my picture up there. So, but I will figure this out with Verizon before next week. But I've been doing this a while, and I think for me, I have a great leader. Denise is awesome. She just is always encouraging. But for me, it is I'm 63. I just had a birthday last week. I'm 63. So my center of people that I'm around are anywhere from 55 to 70, okay? And I think for a lot of them, like I have friends that have IBS issues, that have these issues, and I know these products will help them. I don't personally have those issues, but they do. But I read testimonials, I hear people talk, I read the read the books and I read the articles. They just don't have the belief that that's going to help them. And so they will take samples and they'll say, I'll try them. And then it'll be like, oh, Linda, I just can't. My medicine's all set up and I can't mess up my medicine. So for me, I have that little challenge of, in our age group, it tends to be like, okay, we've got all of our meds straight and we don't want to mess up that boat. And heaven forbid if we do, because it's took us years to get here to where we don't have the stomach issues or the digestive issues. And so for them, for a lot of my friends, they'd just rather stay on the medicine than try to have something to help them get off. So that has been a hurdle for me. I've used it as an excuse, to be honest with you at times. But I never, try not to. I still share and I still try to, do what I can to reach them, and I always try to post things if I see them put something up, that I feel like this product will help you, not directly to them, and I see they read it, so I know that they're reading the post. So that's kind of a little hurdle that I'm having to try to get over, and we'll work at it. And I will say my biggest success, I guess, if I never get another one, is I have a young lady that I've known since she was born. She's around 40, mid 40s, I'd say. And she had really bad migraines. And she started on the products about a year ago. Her mother, a good friend of mine, she was in our wedding, saw my post and told her. And so she in turn went and her mother saw it and she in turn told her. So that she's been on them a year. And so, they've helped her tremendously. So that's been, I guess, my biggest, if I have to say I have a success, is that she has not had another migraine. But that's kind of where I am. I get joins for various reasons. They don't like it. And I feel so excited because I'm finally going to get, I feel like, to super silver. And we're back at start one, So, but we will get over it and we will persevere on,
Yeah, and Linda, I appreciate your vulnerability in sharing all that. And, honestly, whether it's you're too old and have medicine or you're too young and you're broke, everybody could have that same, it is
Exactly.
excuses. I mean, my father started when he was 78 years old. He started on the products, okay? 78. And it's just a matter of finding your people. You just keep going until you find your people. I've had plenty of, if you saw my back office, I've got a couple hundred people that aren't ordering.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I have a couple hundred people in my back office that aren't ordering. And that's okay because I'm finding my people. And you just keep talking. You just haven't found your people. And so that's what she's talking about. Are you willing to get a bunch of no's or people that start and stop and use that as an excuse? And you can show them, you can use testimonies. You just got to keep going till you find your people. So I appreciate your vulnerability. And honey, we're all in that same boat. You just keep going because I can guarantee you they're out there, whether they're your age group or younger or whatever. Your people are out there.
Yeah, I agree. But I did like on page 17 where she talked about the cure to what ails you in your business is your personal activity. That kind of, I highlighted that and underlined that. I thought that was a real good statement. Thank y'all.
And I love that John Maxwell's father, Linda, says that his best days are ahead of him.
Yes.
Those are the kind of people that you're looking for. I actually have some people in my business that are in their 70s, 80, and love the product. So they're absolutely out there. Like Michelle said, it doesn't matter how old, how young. It's just finding your people, digging for that gold that God has for you and you alone.
That's right.
Exactly.
And it's their mindset too. It's not necessarily your mindset, it's their mindset. And sometimes you just can't change people's mindsets no matter what you do. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink,
Exactly.
So that's, and we're all in that same boat. Okay, moving on to the next person.
Well, and she even said that. Do you remember? She said that on one of the pages. You can't want it for them. And you're going to find that on both the product and the business side. People are like, I'm so sick, but they won't take their products.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
They
sick
quit
in the
because
medicine.
they
That's
don't
what's
feel like
crazy. They're sick even on the medicine.
Right.
It's like it doesn't make them feel better. That's what
Right.
I don't
I
understand.
know.
I mean, unfortunately, I had one recently quit, but I mean, I knew she quit taking it because she got sick with the flu, and I told her to keep taking it during the flu because it would help her, but she didn't. And then she had another hee-haw reason why, and then she got to the point where it's not working for me. I don't know why, but I said because of time, you weren't consistent. You didn't stay with it. You didn't give it time. And I was nice about it, and I loved her, through the whole thing. But then she's still at the end of the day, and I was like, okay, you know what? When you're ready to jump back in, let's do it. I still love you no matter what. So.
and you know what?
Oh,
We
yeah.
all deal with,
Hold your
we all
hand.
have those people. And the key in those situations, because whatever you focus on will grow. And if you keep focusing on the people that stop or that turn off their subscription or aren't consistent, guess what? That's going to grow. You focus on what's working. You focus on your product testimony. You build your belief. You get in gut health and happiness and you read stories and you build your belief, because what we have is gold
Amazing.
and people are desperate for it.
Mhm. And we have to take our emotions out of it.
Yes.
That was hard. That was very hard on the front end for me because, you get so excited and you feel totally invested in that person. You know what I mean? And then I finally had to step back and go, you know what? I mean, it is about me, but it's really, truly not about me. It's about them. You know what I mean? So, and if they quit, I mean, I can't let my feelings be hurt by that. I have to move on, and love them where they are and leave the door open if they want to come back in. But I got to keep moving because I got goals and I got places to get. So.
One of the things John Maxwell said too, I'm looking at my notes. He said, realize that motions influence emotions. So in other words, it's your actions that influence the emotions. And a lot of times we switch that, oh, I'm not getting where I want to get. And so then we let that drive our actions. And it really should be the other way around. Okay, I'm not getting where I want to get, so I got to do more so that I do get where I want to get. And then the emotions kind of follow that, because we can control what we're doing. We can't always control what we feel, but we can control our actions.
Yeah, that's great. And Rachel, that's a great point. And that's where you should talk to your upline to make sure you're doing the right actions, because I spend a lot of time doing action, but not necessarily the right action. So, ask your upline questions. I get nervous when my people don't ask me questions. Okay? This is my tip to you. Ask your upline, listen, I just want to make sure I'm doing the right things. Will you review, this is what I'm doing. Do I need to be tweaked anywhere? Because you want to be doing the right things, and that's part of being coachable.
Yeah, constructive criticism is better than no criticism at all. So.
Well, it's not.
I mean,
it's helping you get to where you want to go.
It's helping you grow. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the way I take it, as helping me grow. So yeah.
That's right. It's 9:35. Anybody else? I don't want to keep us too long. A couple more minutes of sharing for those of you that haven't spoken up yet.
Michelle, I would like to share something.
Please.
The one thing that just stuck out for me reading everything is just kind of what we've been talking about with everything that's going on, just saying about how we offer hope and freedom to those who join us in this journey. And for the people that may not want to, we can bless them with our time, talent, and resources. And that's what really stuck out to me. Because even though they join us, they may not want to join us for the business right away. We can still give them our time other ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I like
Love
that.
Love that, Stephanie. Love your heart.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I really liked the idea in the reading of failing forward. That is something that I have had to learn, because I am the type of personality where I hit the ground running. I want to just go, go, go. I want to meet all these milestones, and I have really unrealistic expectations for myself. And when I don't meet that unrealistic expectation of perfection, I get discouraged. and then I feel like I'm failing. And then I back off a little bit and I get overwhelmed. And it's been a journey just learning that you just got to push. You just got to keep moving. You got to keep going, and you are going to get there. And I have to bring myself back to, that same quote, like, it's not in my time, it's in his time. And I have to trust in his time. And I have a really hard time doing that. I mean, I will be the first to admit that I am not a patient personality. And so it is really hard for me to say, okay, it's going to be fine. And at the end of the day, in my struggles, just learning from myself in this journey, I've had to remember that, like, fear does not come from the Lord. Fear does not come from God. It comes from the devil. And he is going to find the ways that we are fearful in our lives and our business and anything that's good for us. And he is going to help to grow those fears until they become so overwhelming that you just stop. And God doesn't want us to stop. God wants us to go. He wants us to move. He wants us to thrive. And being patient and trusting in that plan is part of that thriving. And that has been, I loved when she used fail forward, because I feel like that is the definition of my journey with Plexus right now, is failing forward. But I'm here, I'm moving forward and continuing. And I think that's so important, that, even through the struggles and the hard times, and when you feel you're failing, you're going to move forward. It's not wasted time until you actually quit. I don't know. I just loved that about it. It brought that out and where I am right now in my journey, and I'm excited about it.
I love that, Gia. I heard it said once that falling is not failing. Failing is when you don't get back up. And you'll hear this over and over again, that experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. And that's truly when we learn, right? I mean, we don't necessarily learn through the easy times. We learn through, we can get cocky when everything's going well, and wow, I just made it to gold in 3 months, woohoo, or whatever it is. But we learn through the trials and through the hardships. But daily consistent action. On my first leaders retreat, they had a diamond panel, and I think it was Sarah Marble. She said, if I could tell you anything, it's just be consistent. Even if it's 3, 2, 1 every day, just be consistent. You don't have to do 40 contacts a day. Just be consistent. And isn't that one of the things that Sarah taught us? So I think we could talk about this all night long, but I want to be very respectful of your time. I cannot tell you how my heart is soaring right now. I just feel like the most blessed person alive to be able to facilitate this with all of you, because I know where we're going. And I'm so thankful that we can link arms and do this together. So let's use the chat to encourage each other as you're reading this week. Put little nuggets that you're learning in there. Part of my goal for this book study too is not just head knowledge, not just experiential knowledge, but that you're going to build relationships with your sidelines, because sideline relationships are invaluable. Listen, if I didn't have Christina in my life, I wouldn't have hit Senior Ruby in April, because I needed a push and she was there. She was at my house. I'll tell you the story another time. It was pretty remarkable, but I didn't think I was going to make it. I woke up, I had 25 orders to go, and by 4 o'clock I had 12 orders to go. And I said, what do I do? And she looked at me, she goes, what do you mean, what do you do? You go for it. And so I went for it. And she was a sideline. She was not invested in me. And so what you get, my sideline relationships are invaluable. So through this, we're going to be developing culture. We're going to be doing some fun things between the two of us. Between the two of us. See, all of us. Anyway, I'm super, super excited and so grateful. And yeah, we'll do this again next week, chapter 2.
Okay, great. Chapter 2.
Yes. Okay,
I
ladies.
made myself stop. I wanted to keep reading, but I did make myself stop because I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself and forget stuff. So
it's really, really,
it's
really
hard.
great. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
same.
you guys can hop off if you need to, but FYI, she does have a network marketing. It's called the Network Marketing Inner Circle, and she has podcasts that you can listen to. Sarah is one that you want to listen to, and I'll put the links in the chat. You could not learn from a better woman. Fruitful,
Awesome.
loves the Lord, anointed, holy cow. She's all that and then some. So,
Absolutely.
yes.
What's her
Okay.
business? What's her business? What was her business? I mean, what is her? Is it
She
Rodan?
was with Roden and Fields.
Rodan and
That's what
Fields.
that's what I was guessing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty remarkable.
Yep.
Okay, ladies, have a great night.
Thank
Y'all
y'all.
too.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.